Fortnight number 4. This video has to do with playing a G and a C at the same time. If you've gotten this far, then congratulations, because you are just about ready to play the first cadence. This is a very special trick that happens at cadences often. What we've got is G to C is a fourth. It's a perfect fourth. So we call this a 4-3 suspension. You see the B here? So G and C resolves to G and B. And this is what we're working on today. So this is a perfect fourth between G and C. The piece so far . Now this fingering goes like this. D, hold these two, okay? Eventually we will resolve 4-3. So some of you may already have some experience with this fingering. If you use the Trevor Y series for tone development, then you have definitely studied it. It is an overtone fingering. Actually, David Scher wrote to me about this upcoming fingering. David Scher is a studio musician in LA, and he also recorded the Berio Sequenza and also the other sequenzas for the other wind instruments, because he's in fact a doubler. He pointed out that this fingering that we're going to talk about today appears in the Berio Sequenza, and this is the very, very famous multiphonic from the Berio Sequenza. It is right here on the last page. You do a nice trill, hold, and then very, very gently sneak up, moving your pinky. We finger it like this. The left hand is G. The right hand, everything is closed, and the pinky is on the C key. In other words, we finger a C. Now, if you did the Trevor Y series, then you know this exercise. Played was called the harmonic overtone series. You can finger any fingering on the flute and produce a harmonic overtone series. You know, when you play a trumpet, you can produce all of these notes using the same fingering. For instance, a G and a C are the same exact fingering on the trumpet. Now, on the flute, we have different fingerings for G and C, but it is possible to produce a G and a C using the same fingering. Exactly the best intonation, and that's why we have other fingerings that work better. Now, we can get a low C, a middle C, a G above that, a C above that, an E above that, and a G above that, and also a high B flat like note. What we have to do here is suppress all of those notes except for this one and this one. So we can't have or. None of those are sufficient. We really do have to isolate the G and the C. Last week with the F sharp and C is that some fingerings sound better if you aim for the low one and then you think, you just conceptualize, add the high one. Other fingerings sound better if you think, I will play the top note and then I will add the lower one. For this fingering, I blow a high C and then I drop down gently to capture the G. And I just allow that G to ring, just ever so slightly. If you drop down your jaw too much, the lower pitches will come in as well, the C's, and we don't want that. So if you think about playing a C, the high C, and then just drop your jaw ever so slightly to allow the G to ring, but don't drop it too far because then the lower pitches will sing as well. So, for instance, here's a C. I will drop my jaw gradually. You'll hear more and more pitches enter. What we need to do is sustain the high, drop just enough to have a G. But no more. So one way to use the Trevor Y series to help with your multiphonics playing is to take the actual exercise and what we want to do is try to prolong that moment. You know, every time you switch pitches, you go from C to G. There is a split second where both of those pitches are going to be ringing very, 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 very short, brief second. And the idea in normal flute playing is to minimize that moment. We don't want that double sound. We want a very smooth, buttery connection between the pitches. But when we're playing a multiphonic, we want both of the pitches to sound. So one way to practice is to prolong that moment where both of the pitches are sounding, like this. So we go a low D, and the difference between the low D and the multiphonic is very, very different, change of a very different angle. So the low D, I think that I'm blowing very low, and then for the multiphonic it's more like an across blowing. So what we've got so far. You on a 4/3 suspension, but you're just gonna have to wait 2 weeks to learn that.